we're looking at radical equations. All right, so here's an example. We've got a radical in our equation, hence the name radical equations. So we're going to isolate our radical, and then we solve as usual. However, you have to check your solutions on these. If you don't, sometimes your answer will not work, and you will get it wrong. Two is not inside the parentheses. The minus 2 is not inside of the radical. All right, so do y'all know what isolate means? Get it by itself. So what is our radical? The square root of x minus 4. We need that to be by itself. So what do we need to move? Yeah, we need to add 2. So we're going to make it the square root of x minus 4 equals, does that make sense? We want to get rid of the radical, so what are we going to do? Did you say multiply by this? Okay. Does that make sense? The square root of x minus 4 squared is what? Right? The square root and the square cancel out. And then equals what? Does that make sense? Whatever you do to one side, you got to do to the other. And so what does x equal? Does that make sense? I haven't circled it yet because I haven't checked it. Let's see. 68 minus 4. Square root of 64 minus 2. Does that work? Okay, so it works. So that is my answer. You'd write no answer or no solution.
Is that the circle slash?
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at an example. What are we going to do first? So square root of x plus 4 equals, then what? Square both sides. So would it be negative 9? Okay. And then what? You say negative 9 times negative 9. Not negative 9 times 9. So what would x equal? Okay, let's check it. 77 plus 4. The square root of 81. 9 plus 2. Is that negative 7? It doesn't work. So what would I put for my answer? You could do this, or you could do no real solution. You could do that. Set notation. You're like those little curly bracket things with nothing in it. Meaning the answer is nothing. Any of those? The reason you would think it is 77, but it doesn't actually work. Let's look here. The square root of x plus 4 equals negative 9. Can the square root ever equal a negative 9? So that's why it doesn't work. Because you've got your square root equaling a negative number. So if you can pick that out, you don't have to go any further. You can just stop and say no solutions. Does that make sense? Y'all see how that works? Well, there's a plus 2 over here. So you have to get the radical by itself before you can say, oh, it's not going to work. Because then it's going to be a positive number. It'll be the negative square root of x plus 4, and it'll equal positive 9. Well, that won't work either. Because this is always going to be a positive number. Once this is out of the way, then you can say, oh, it equals a negative number, so it doesn't work. But until that one's moved, you can't do anything. I mean, you just have to work it like normal. Any questions on these? Okay. See if you can do this one. Oh, see if you can do it. It's not hard. It's different than the last one.
Okay, so negative 3 is not in my mind.
Correct. It like the line stops. It doesn't go. That's why it's not.
Hold on. Oh, wait.
They could be a fraction. I don't know. I haven't worked it yet. I mean, I don't know. They could be a fraction. It may not be.
Yeah, I'm down to it. Wait up. Oh, yeah. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I didn't have to all. I don't have to take it though. I have to include it. I'm gonna have to put it in. You have my son. I don't have that. Plug it in. I don't have to do that. I don't have to put it in the table. Okay. I'm not telling you. Okay, we'll say your number.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I did.
What do you have to do next?
Take away.
Okay, square both sides. What is the left side going to be? What is the right side going to be?
X squared plus 6x squared.
Does that make sense? Why is it not just x squared plus 9? Why is it not x squared plus 9?
Yes, the same things as that.
Yeah, that's not, you're not squaring each term. You're multiplying x plus 3 times x plus 3. You have to distribute, yes. Then what?
You get minus x squared. You get out of the way.
Okay.
And then you just do minus 2x, 4x, and then you do minus 9. So 4 equals 4x. Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense? Okay, 1 squared plus 2 plus 13. What's the square root of 16? 4 minus 3 equals 1. So it works. Does that make sense? Y'all see how that works? Any questions there? Hardest part of these, I think, is remembering to factor,
My hardest part
distribute.
is like, I don't know, just to do that.
I'm not going to check to see if you actually checked it on your test. You can check it in your head, you can work it out and check it. But you will need to check it because not all of them will work. Okay? But there will be ones that if you don't check it, you're going to get it wrong. So if you don't check it, that's your call. You have a 50-50 shot at getting it right, I guess. Does that make sense?